Working with nature is a really special thing, and it's really important and what motivates all of us here today. And it's really important, I feel, that when working with nature, we realize that we, Homo sapiens, if you can call it that, cannot dictate to nature. Nature was here before us, and I guess nature will be here after us as well. What we need to do is to partner and to do what we can to ease conservation and nature's path as we move ahead. And Africa has such an important role to play in that process. I believe with a real heartbeat of conservation worldwide. But there's always more we can learn, and so much more that we can teach. And that becomes ever more important what we're doing, and particularly in the inexorable move to urbanization. People, when they move to towns from the country, forget about the country all too quickly. And it is incumbent on all of us who are committed conservationists to make certain that those people who now live in the concrete jungle, removed from nature with their feet no longer on the grass, that we never let them forget that conservation of nature and nature itself is the most important thing in the world, and we must never forget that.
In Zimbabwe, we have long understood that our nature heritage is our greatest wealth on this earth. From the mighty Victoria Falls to the sweeping savannas of Hwange, our landscape are not only ecological treasure, but also economic lifelines, sustaining tourism, agriculture, and livelihoods of local communities throughout the country. Our Constitution itself enshrines the right to an environment that is clean, safe, and healthy. Yet we also recognize that fundamental peace and social cohesion are critical. When the land is degraded, when wildlife is lost, it is not only biodiversity that suffers. It is also communities who feel the pain of losing that biodiversity. Thus, our conservation efforts are not merely about protecting animals or trees. They are about safeguarding the social and precious planet and the total fabric of our nation. Protecting nature, protecting our precious planet, and protecting our own people who live on this planet. To this end, Zimbabwe is proud to play an active role in regional and global environmental governance. Across our continent, innovation is reshaping conservation. In Zimbabwe, we are combining traditional knowledge with cutting-edge technology to protect our ecosystem. This approach utilizes drones to monitor wildlife movement, community scouts to deter poaching, and local stewardship models that provide tangible benefits to the rural household in our various countries. We are mainstreaming climate action into our national development agenda through the Zimbabwe Climate Change Management Policy and our low carbon emission development strategy. And we are empowering communities, especially women and youth, to take ownership of the conservation through wildlife-based economies and community conservancies. For us all to succeed in this grand task, of protecting our precious planet, Africa must unite in its collaborative effort, align its efforts, and share its strength with international players and partners. The world currently spends less than 1/3 of what is needed to protect and restore our ecosystems. This is not only an international and environmental failure by us, but an economic miscalculation. Without adequate financing, conservation becomes a form of charity rather than an investment, and progress will be fleeting if we don't become serious in terms of investment. We must therefore strategically move decisively towards sustainable, predictable, and result-based financing, where natural capital is valued as a critical asset for development. Investing in nature, in our wetlands, our forests, and wildlife estates is not a cost. It is a catalyst for resilient economies and stable societies, and I urge all parties, public and private, philanthropic, to recognize this investment opportunity and prioritize nature. After all, over half of the global GDP is dependent on nature and its ecosystems. To us scientists, researchers gathered here, your work is the light that guides our policy development. Your findings will help us. Your data will help us to understand how ecosystems adopt and how communities can coexist with wildlife, with the forests, with the wetlands, and how they can mitigate and adapt to the realities of the warming planet that we're living in. I urge you all to stay curious and keep collaborating with every one of us to make sure that we succeed in our researches. As a policymaker myself, we rely on your insights to turn data into direction, to design policies, laws, frameworks, and incentives that make a real difference on the ground. Let us continue to bridge the divide between research and implementation, ensuring that every discovery fuels development and every innovative strengthens resilience. And to my fellow policymakers, let us stand firm in our commitment to ensuring nature and climate stay on the highest political agendas in our respective countries. Africa holds many of the world's remaining natural frontiers, from the Congo Basin to the Zambezi Valley, from the Okavango to the Chimanimani. With this inheritance comes responsibilities. Let us act now so that they too can shine for eternity.